What a powerful movie. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I'm just having this moment, enjoying the Sound of Freedom, the movie we're going to bring a spotlight here today. So sit tight and enjoy with us. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have an amazing episode I'm bringing an amazing episode to you on this, film talk show that I have today. It's so exciting, and if you know the movie that I'm talking about, you'll be surprised. Is this a controversy? Why is this such a big deal? Why is the elite, why is the Hollywood, are they attacking this movie? This movie is so amazing. I have not fully watched it. I have to admit, I have to confess, I have not fully watched it yet. But from the snippets I've seen, from the interviews I've watched, from the people I hear, the testimony they're sharing about this movie, I'm telling you, you don't want to miss this episode because this is an amazing movie. I have a few videos that I want to share with you today. So let's start with the first video, and please leave me a comment because I want to hear from you. All the show that we're doing here on the Glory Today show, like this episode of Let's Talk, this episode of Film Talk, it's all about you. It's really what I believe you want to know. I believe this is something that is going to inspire you. This is something that is going to bring joy to you. So listen to these stories and share your comments with us, please.
So one night, I'm leaving a bar all jacked up on coca, and I notice this young girl on the corner, fine looking, maybe 20, 25. Take her up to my place, we do the deed, pay the bill. She's putting on her shoes, and I notice something. I notice her foot. She's got these little pink cat faces painted on her toenails. And it hit me. She's not 25. And she glances up and her eyes connect. And it was like I was granted a glimpse into her soul. And all I saw was sadness. Out of nowhere, she starts talking. Turns out she's not 25, not even 20. This girl is 14 years old, to Mateo. She's been doing it since she was 6. Looks at me, smiles, takes the money, walks out the door. This tidal wave, this tsunami of darkness. And I know I'm the sadness in her eyes. Me. I'm the darkness.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is really deep. This is so deep and such an amazing piece right now that this man shared the story of his personal encounter. But rest assured, I want you to understand this movie is depicted from a true story of one of the very amazing men that I used to work for the Homeland Security in the US, and the whole movie is based on his personal encounter, based on his life story. Tim Ballard used to work for the US Homeland Security, in the Department of Homeland Security, and he was the one in charge of the operation, the Operation Underground Railroad, and they were organizing, and they were an organization in charge of rescuing children from sex trafficking. And I know this movie is thought provocative to many of you. And because of the whole topic itself is really provocative. And so some of you might want to skip it, don't want to hear about it because you cannot imagine the atrocity that's being done to this young being, this innocent being in our society, these little angels. But avoiding it, refusing to hear it, even to share the story, refusing to invest in those people who are taking time to do this story, it does not take away the atrocity that's being done. So the best thing you and I can do, you and I, is to make sure we continue to share this story. We continue to talk about this, having these conversations. And the Tim Ballard with his a team under the Operation Underground Railroad, they did amazing rescuing of children from the clutches of sex trafficking. And it is deep. It is really, really, really deep. And for that reason, this film has provoked so many backlash around the US, where it is being previewed. And we're going to watch a next video that is showcasing a few testimony, or I can say a few stories from around the world concerning this movie. So please sit tight. I will show you a few different clips just to show you that this is not just my thoughts, this is not just my experience, this is not just what I want to tell you, but this is a really true story of what's happening around the globe concerning this particular movie. This is a powerful movie, and this is a movie that is going to be a blessing to you all.
We have to do a lot more, and we got to start with Donald Trump.
What do you mean?
Well, he's got to be in there because he's going to go after the traffickers.
Do you think he understands that?
We were with him last night.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, so he's going to be moved to do something. I didn't know that.
Oh,
he was in
he's
tears last night.
This is the new Moses. I mean, I'm still Jesus, but he's the new Moses. Pharaoh, let my children go free.
All right.
Wow.
I did not know that was an impressive screening at Bedminster, I guess. Yeah. Eduardo, Jim Caviezel, great to see you again. Yeah. Congratulations on all your success. I can't say I'm surprised, but I know how intense you are, and good job.
This is the people's movie. God bless you.
Absolutely. Meanwhile,
thanks, America.
Watch Sounds of Freedom in theaters and pay it forward by buying movie tickets for those that can't afford them at angel.com/freedom.
This is not a video that I wanted to show you on this point, but we end up showing this one. But the next video that I want us to see is video number 1, cut 2, because it's a powerful testimony from the actor themselves. But the video that we just saw, it also speaks a lot about the man Donald Trump that we've seen coming in the news, and many of you have their own personal opinion about it, which really doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter to me personally what you think about him, because I was able to follow the election of when Sleepy Joe was taking over, and I follow all that process, so I know what I think about him personally. And after with the action that he did, listen, it's so easy sometimes to talk without actions, but those who are depicting him as a bad guy because he decided to build the border, because he fought for the innocence of the young children, and he was really doing it the best he can, because nobody is perfect really. And I know often that a sentence is being used as an excuse to justify certain deeds, but in this case, he has a very strong personality. You don't have to like him, but at least you have to appreciate the work that he has done to in this case of sex trafficking, children trafficking. He fought more than any other. He met with Tim Ballard. I saw the interview of him meeting with this guy before you and I even knew who this Tim character was. But Donald Trump was able to meet with him, with Tim Ballard and with his team, talking about the sex trafficking that is impacting the US, but also here in Europe. You will be surprised, my friend. You'll be surprised how many children are going missing on a weekly basis here in Europe. When I saw the number, I was flabbergasted. So let us don't be naive. Let us just don't be oblivious to the world we live in. It is not all flowers and all honeys and all those kind of things as you think. Just because all is well with you, it does not mean all is well with your neighbors. And don't just be conform in your own comfort zone and think as long as it's fine with me, it is gonna be fine with the rest. Let's check out this testimonial video number 1 from where Tim Ballard and this amazing actor who played in The Passion of the Christ, and he was playing a role in this movie. They were doing this beautiful interview how they share their story about this movie, about what he experienced, how it was not easy personally for him to play a role in this movie. All these things are going to come in this segment, and hopefully with your comments, the more comments you're gonna leave us, I will be able to do this again in the next episode, and hopefully by then I'll be able to already get a chance and opportunity to watch this movie. And then later on we're gonna compare it to another movie that is on the market. Oh man, it's so flabbergasted. It's so mind-boggling to understand that people are going to criticize this movie, and there's certain movies out there that are so vogue, yet we are okay. And then you're like, yeah, okay, that's bad, but that one, what do you prefer? Do you prefer somebody who's standing for the truth, somebody who's standing for the values of humanity, or do you prefer those ones who want to sell you vogue agendas for the destruction of the future of the young one? You may not have children, but there are those people that you know, that your parents, your brothers and sisters do have children. So if you don't fight for your own, at least fight for those who can't fight for themselves. Let's watch this video, and we'll come back again later. Let me try to think like those critics out there. They say this film is all about promoting an agenda that does not exist. These people are talking about an issue that is ravaging the whole world. It's not just about what's happening here in Europe. It's not about what's happening in the US or in Africa. But it's about what's happening all over. It's about what's happening all over the world. So why is it so hard for us to handle watching this movie? What is wrong with it? Me, I don't understand, really. Maybe I'm just slow. Maybe let's say I'm just slow to understanding, so I don't comprehend what you guys are seeing. If you're seeing something different, please explain it to us here. Explain it to me so that I may be able to understand. Maybe the next show that I will do, I will tell you how bad this movie is. This movie is so bad. It is so bad. The agenda they're promoting, it does not fit with the standards of life we're living in today. Let's say that way. Oh no, so let's grab somebody wearing a suit and have a whole bunch of books behind him telling you how much this movie is so vogue that it is what? Misinformation. That's the new language of today, the new vocabulary. It's a misinformation. Let's get somebody from let's get Kamala Harris, I don't know, to tell you that how bad this movie is. If you're watching me from Europe, I'm encouraging you. You want to watch this movie. It is hard to watch. It is not an easy movie to watch, but you need to watch it. Don't put your head in the sand. Don't do that anymore. You know that doesn't work. From Corona, we're able to learn that does not work anymore. You need to watch this movie. Let's play the next film, and then you'll be able to understand the significance of watching this movie. Sound of Freedom. Sound of Freedom. That's what the movie is all about. Indeed, from the snippet that I've seen, it's quite heavy. But evil is powerless if the good run unafraid. Guys, we have to stand for what we believe. And this is somebody who asked me if the Glory Today show was a show for Christians only. And you might be watching us and you are wondering the same thing. Is this only for Christians, for believers? Because personally, I'm a Christian, and I can tell you I am devoted Christian. I cannot do anything about it. But the Glory Today show, I will want to believe that is a show that is for everyone, because it's not about Christianity only. It's not about us promoting faith content, but it's about us bringing the light into this dark world that the darkness is trying to infiltrate, take over. But we gotta rise up with a standing and take control. That's what the Glory Today show is about. It doesn't matter whether you're Christian or not. I want to sit with you. I want to hear your story, and because I believe your story will encourage many. We're going to in the next Glory Today show films, we'll talk about games. We'll talk about video games. So we have here all this video game council that we'll be talking about, whether things like this kind of games, Pocket Demon. We'll talk about these things. Why? Because these are the things that they are using against us to brainwash many people. I had a story of, and I'll talk about next on this one, a story about young people that are they create a scene of a school in the video game before they went to execute it and shoot in their own school. But they first played it in the video game. Do you understand the impact and influence of video games? So I encourage you, as you are watching the Glory Today show, you're wondering what it is about. Stay connected. The best thing you can do to know about something, it is not by running away and say, no, this is nothing for me. How would you know if it's for you when you do not even give it a chance yet? As we are talking about Sound of Freedom, we talk about many other content in the most exciting way. This one is a little bit deep, so the whole mood is a bit focused, but don't worry, the next shows they'll be a little bit hyper. I was going through social media and I was trying to gain some information, some knowledge on Sound of Freedom, and I went through Twitter, I went to TikTok, I went through many social media channel, and actually I was going to talk about TikTok first because of the some of the videos that I was able to see on TikTok of people who are testifying about their own experience in the cinemas, what they encountered and everything. And this is an image right on the screen, is an image of a Twitter, what I saw today on Twitter, as many news agency, they were attacking Sound of Freedom based on what? Based on what? They call it propaganda. They call it promoting biased information. Donald Trump was able to host, as you can see on Twitter as well, he was able to host a screening of this film at his house, or at his private golf, I think was a golf club where he was able to hosting. Prepare an amazing meal for the people to be able to enjoy. And you can see as well here in a very nice video, a picture actually of Donald Trump watching the movie, and somebody even posts as soon as the film started, he sat down, he did not even move a muscle. I wonder if the current president of America will be able to sit down that long. That's just a in between joke. By the way, even the time the movie was playing, it was already time bed already. It's bedtime, so I don't think it will even be able to join. But anyway, Sound of Freedom is a powerful movie, and if you go through Twitter, you'll see many stories. You even see some people, oh my lord, this is really hard. This was a hurting, not even my heart, but my brain to comprehend. Some people calling this propaganda. My friend, propaganda from where? From Wakanda? I don't know, man. You tell me. This movie is about children. It's all about children. How could this be propaganda? This is even an amazing story, actually. I wanted to go somewhere else, but let's talk about the experience of people who went to the cinemas. There were people going to the cinemas to watch this, to try to watch the movie, and all kind of things were happening to them in the cinemas. What is even crazy? Some people say, yeah, these people, they say they went to the AMC, I think that those cinemas in America, and some people, they call them the QAnon. QAnon activists who's saying that cinema is trying to prevent them from watching these movies. They're lying. If they're lying, here are people themselves telling you their stories of what they experience at the cinemas. These people are telling you. This is in the segment in the video slides. They're telling their own experience. Let's hear from them.
I just experienced a conspiracy theory in person for the first time ever. So I just went to go see a noon showing of Sound of Freedom, which is the human trafficking movie by Jim Caviezel that's currently outperforming Indiana Jones.
Exactly.
But, of course, studios and everything are
and that's what they don't want you to know.
Hush this movie and make it seem like not so many people are going to see it, and they're not
Precisely.
promoting it at all. And they're basically trying to make it seem like no one is going to see it. Theaters all over the country keep having really weird things happen when people go to see it,
it's a spiritual warfare as well.
Not working, lights not turning off. And I was super curious, so I came to see it, and the lights didn't turn off for the first 10 minutes. And also there was a voiceover, a narrator for blind people. And so I could tell around me, tons of people kept getting up to go complain.
If you pause it, this is what is happening, not only to this lady.
And they turned the movie off.
And I love what she said. She said what? She did not believe it. because what they call it conspiracy theory. If there's a conspiracy theory, she said, I went to the cinema to see it for myself. Guess what? She saw it. She said conspiracy theory happened to me. What is the conspiracy theory of something? Even that word itself is to try to make you be to be, how do you say, to unmute, to mute them, to disconnect from listening to what they're trying to say, because the word conspiracy theory has been plaqued in front of them. So immediately people say, no, I don't want to hear this. This is nonsense. This is conspiracy theory. But it's nothing to do with conspiracy theory. When you come to a movie, the AC is not working in a cinema. You come to the movie and then suddenly there's some spiritual warfare, like a projector, light ball in the projector start heating up to the point where people have to rush out of the cinema because it was burning. That's just a spiritual warfare. You come to a movie whereby there is a music playing, a radio is playing in the cinema while you're trying to watch a movie. Have you ever experienced something like that before? You tell me. We cannot deny this happening because people are testifying about this. Let me tell you this, then we'll play the next video about these people testifying. Indiana Jones, you know how much that movie cost to make? It would cost like more than $300 million to make Indiana Jones. Do you know how much it cost to make Sound of Freedom? About $14 million. About $14 million. But Sound of Freedom has gone crazy, has surpassed Indiana Jones. It can't even compare to numbers. Sound of Freedom is right now, I think last time I checked was above 100 million that they have gained. While Indiana Jones is still around 80. Way below their budget. And they have to even make, to break even, they have to go 3 times the investment they put in before to be able to break even in their investment of making the movie. So imagine Sound of Freedom that was $14 million. It is excellently done. The production is amazing. The content is, the storyline is even crazy. There's no woke agenda. There is no propaganda. There is no conspiracy theory. This depicts from a true story from Tim Ballard's story. So I'm telling you, if somebody tell you, okay, this is a conspiracy theory, then just know that they are full of poop. That's the thing. Please, let's play those other. Stop laughing. Let's play those other videos. I'm being really, really, really serious with you because we need to stop nonsense. It's like every time woke agenda comes into the room, common sense jump out of the window. The devil is a liar.
I just saw The Sound of Freedom at AMC Theater, Times Square, and it was heavy. My eyes were not dry, I'll tell you that much. But even then, it still had some moments where you could laugh or, relax a bit because it is so heavy. I think that they paced it very well. It's beautifully shot. All the acting is amazing, including the acting of the children. And I admire their bravery. I admire the bravery of everybody behind this production. It's really difficult to talk about this stuff. I can barely handle it. So we have to find the courage to face the ugly reality that we have more slavery in the world now than ever before. So while a lot of Americans are asking for reparations, there are slaves right under our nose, and literally under our nose, children. Like I said, I can barely handle it, and I understand most of us can't. That's why I think everyone needs to see The Sound of Freedom. I don't recommend a lot of movies, and I have to admit, I'll never see this movie again if I can help it because it's that heavy, but I had to see it, and I'm glad I did because we have to confront it. You have the mayor living on taxpayer money saying, why are you treating me like you're a slave? You don't know the first thing about slavery, Eric Adams. Go see The Sound of Freedom, Eric Adams. Maybe then you'll think twice before you even consider a mandate, and maybe you would keep a closer eye on this migrant crisis. I went to see this with my fellow peaceful freedom fighters, and and I'm going to go back and find them. I just needed to take a moment to share my thoughts and feelings right after seeing this, you know, after my tears dried up. That was heavy, but yeah, even if you go see it once.
This is an experience in a cinema where the music is playing over the movie.
And the radio's playing.
Radio's playing.
Lights are still on.
Lights on, radio's playing in the cinema. Tell me that's a conspiracy theory.
Radio is still playing.
Radio is playing, lights is off.
Restarted the movie.
They restart the movie, radio still playing.
Sound's off again.
Sound is off.
My husband and I tried to see Sound of Freedom today, and about an hour into the movie, this is at an AMC, an hour into the movie, we see this, what looks like smoke, and this horrible smell. It smelled almost like an electrical fire. So I was like, I'm out. So my husband and I got up and we left, and we
this one is
told
a black
somebody,
woman.
And they went to go check it out. Everybody was coming out of the theater because we were all like, what is that smell? No one wants to yell fire.
I'm out,
theater.
baby. I'm going. I'm out of here. Oh, look how crazy it is in the cinema. You came to a movie and all you found is chaos.
Come to find out, it was one of their projector
fire
bulbs
department's coming.
Was really overheating somehow, and the exhaust pipe was messed up. It like fell, and so all the smoke was pouring into the theater. So that was exciting.
Crazy, huh? Look at this one. Spraying chemicals.
That's the worst. Spraying chemicals
in the cinema. Have you ever experienced something like this before?
Excuse me. But this is such an important movie to go see.
It is an important movie.
It shines a light of the evil of child trafficking. The awareness that this movie is going to bring just makes my soul happy. It's just such an important topic. And God's children.
For long it has been ignored.
And if there's any movie that you support this summer, let this be the one.
Let this be the movie you support this summer. If there's any movie you want to watch, this movie is such a powerful portrait of the true story of Tim Ballard when he's dealing with the sex trafficking. And if you see the heroes in these movies, those who take time to play parts in this movie, you'll be amazing. Listen, for you out there who are in denial, you trying to say, no, this is not existing. I'll play more videos for you to understand. And then, because it is very important for me personally, it's very important for us to understand that these things do exist. Just because you deny them, just because life is all good for you, it does not mean these things is not happening all around us. I'm not even saying it's not happening around the world, because when I say that, it sounds so far-fetched, far away from you. Then you feel a little safe, in your little warm beds and whatever. But I'm telling you, it's happening closer to you than you think. Let's play this video number 1, cut 3. Then you'll be surprised, very surprised, because this is such an important topic for us to have. For so long it has been ignored. For so long it has been pushed aside. For so long it has been put on in a parking lot, literally. In that session in the parking lot where the light is not shining, where people are not seeing what's going on in there. You don't get to look in there, and you don't even want to go there. You just avoid it as far as you can. That's what has been happening with this one. Let's play this video.
If I was the devil, I would never want this film to be seen. But, time ran out for him. It's got to be seen.
Yes, it did. You're from Homeland Security.
It focuses on the United States. We're the #1 demand for child exploitation material. There's about 6 million children currently in slavery.
It really did happen. July 4th, that's when the movie came out. And the question will be, what set this movie apart? Why is this so important? But this movie is dealing with a current global issue that has been ignored in the spotlight many a time. Let me tell you, you who are watching me here on the channel, how many times have you seen any commercial on TV about Sound of Freedom. Many children out there that are suffering. Many children out there, they are living under circumstances that are unspeakable. Whatever you can do, the best way you can support us is by leaving us a comment and liking, thumbs up, subscribing, sharing. It will be a great blessing. I appreciate you joining us on this journey. My name is Glory from the Glory Today Show. What can I say than to say thank you? You know what to do. Thank you so much for joining us. Hey, don't forget to subscribe before you leave, alright? Cheers.